Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Alrighty. Hello everybody, my name is Alex Martin. I'm here with Sheetcast, and today I'm going to be building off of some of the things that I've done before, and showing off some of our custom functions that we have. There we go. And I'm just going to stay in the PowerPoint. Maybe? There we go. So I'm going to show you guys how to build this form, and basically at the end, I'm going to let you guys use it. It's going to allow you guys to go in and download the PowerPoint, or also one of our other kind of cool PowerPoints. So I'll hop back right into it. So yeah, the objective today is going to be, there we go, we're good. To build a form page that collects the user input, add features such as a drop-down list using things that I think probably everyone here knows, such as a data validation. Build a QR code, which hopefully you guys will all be able to scan, and build a button that allows users to submit their preferences if you want to see what PowerPoint. And what we're going to be using today are 4 of our custom functions, which would be cast button, which allows us to create a button, cast form value, which allows us to pull values in from a form that's being submitted, do send email, which is basically going to take the email that you guys enter, use a template that we create, and send you guys an email, and then cast QR code, which is going to generate a QR code based off of the link that we provide and also sizing differences. We're going to use 2 different kinds of pages. I'm going to skip over these for time just because they're fairly simple. And then the one Excel piece, I guess 2, we're going to use an if function to declare our cases because we have multiple things in our dropdown. And then we're also going to have a data validation list. So within here, this is just kind of a highlight of building the form page. I'm going to give a quick highlight. We've already declared our name, our email, and the option, which are basically going to be the fields in our form page that we want. We can select our data validation here. This creates a dropdown. With Sheetcast, it automatically adds the dropdown into the web. And we can add a different page. And in this case, we're going to add a form page. This is going to allow users to submit data on the web and allow us to capture those inputs, such as their name, email, and the option that they want. Once that has been added, we are able to start building out the button that we want to use that's going to execute our actions. So these can be all of our procedural actions. This can execute any sort of Excel logic. And it's really useful for things like volatile functions, such as today. If you want to create automatic time stamping with every time you open up a workbook with today, it's today. But if you introduce things with like a button or our procedural functions, it's going to put the raw values into that cell rather than the formula. So the first thing we're going to use is our cast button. With our cast button, the syntax is as it shows here. So you're going to have your button text is going to be your first string that you enter. And then after that, your actions can follow. So we support up to about 10 actions with our cast button. And the first one that we're going to do is enter our text, which is going to be submit request. And then we are going to follow up with our first value, which is going to be our if statement. Our if statement, we're going to build off of our data validation that we added earlier, and basically declare our cases. So if they choose option 1, we're going to send this email, and if not, we're going to send the other email. So we can build this out. What I have used here is another function called cast form value. As you see, I'm using form C2C, so it's our reference to the third column. I'm kind of nervous to pull it up, but we're going to try it. Pull it up in Excel here. And if I go to my form page, as you see, C2C is our dropdown. It's our validation. So what that is comparing is basically what the user submits, and then we're declaring our cases. So in this case, if I put in, I want the Shopify integration material, it's going to pull that in, check for that logic, and then execute our case. And go back into this. And let me skip through here. So now that we've built that in, we can have our workflow 1, and we'll add those after. And then we can have our second kind of declarative case, which is going to be our Shopify integration. And then it's going to be our workflow number 2. And then finally, The third, our false part of our if statement, is going to be the workflow 3, which in this case is just going to be the both option. The next thing we're going to do is add our next function, which is going to be our do send email. These are going to replace our 3 kind of workflows in this case. And the goal is to use our templates that we've created. This image here on the side is an example of one of the email templates that we have used. And we're going to use some parameters from our form that have been entered in, along with the email template, to automatically send an email when someone clicks the button and has entered in the form. So as you see in the to column, I have put the parameter email in kind of 2 squiggly brackets along with name. So those are the 2 parameters that the email template and the function, as we see here in a second, are going to accept and allow us to automatically pass in. And so it creates a dynamic template. You're not kind of shoeboxing it, and it's addressing whoever fills it out. So if I were to fill this form out and say my name is Alex, and I put my email in there, it would automatically send to my email and refer to my name in the place of the name parameter. So as I had just said here, this is our syntax for our do send email formula. We reference our email template. So in this case, it's going to be our email example template. And then we have our parameter 1, parameter 2, etc., as many as you declared. In this case, we're going to be using our cast button, our different functions, and then our first workflow. So we're going to reference our email template. We're going to declare what our parameters are. So in this case, we have our email. And then we're going to use that same function that we used before, cast form value, to pull the email from that form and automatically declare it to that parameter so that our email template can consume it. The next field that we're going to do is name. So we've declared our name parameter. And we're going to say this is coming from our form A value, and we are good to go. So we can repeat those same values in our other declarative statements, such as the Shopify integration, and then our final case, which is they chose both, and is just repetitive there. The next piece that we want to do is create a QR code. This is going to allow users to, for instance, you guys, scan the QR code and then access the app directly and kind of play around with it. This one is one of my favorite functions because I was trying to make a QR code the other day, and I was trying to make it dynamic. You have to pay, like, random services quite a lot of money to make a dynamic QR code. But with this function, you're able to pass a link in pretty much immediately. The parameter is cast.qrcode, the text. So in this case, you can put a hyperlink formula in there. And then you can also choose your sizing. And then we have optional parameters, which are our height and our width. So for our sizing, we have a couple different things. We have a 0, a 1, 2, and 3. So we can pass in 4 numerical values. 0 will allow us to fit to the cell, so you can automatically adjust the size of your cell. 1 will allow you to declare your custom height or your custom width. Or 3 will allow you to automatically adapt to whatever screen size that you're pulling off of. So in this case, I want to say it's going to be 0. I want it to automatically pull off the cell width and height. And I'm going to pass in the QR code. In my actual example here, I have linked that to the actual web app. So if you guys are able to, if you want, you can scan this QR code. It will take you to that form page, and then you're able to test it out. So that same button that I've just showed off, that we kind of built together throughout this, you're able to enter your name, your email if you want to get access. This PowerPoint is available. There's also another option which kind of shows off how to integrate Shopify stores within Sheetcast and integrate them into Excel. But yeah, it's a really kind of good example of how the QR code works. Perfect. Thank you very much. Is there any questions that you guys have? Any questions about Sheetcast or some of the functions that I showed off? No? Alrighty, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.